That's what they're trying to do in the workplace. They're trying, when they put you through all these kind of different phases and hurdles, like first you do a cognitive ability test, then you do a personality assessment, right? They're trying to paint a better picture of who you are. They're trying to understand who this person that is, we don't know that person very well, right? Like all we know is that their resume seems to be something that could be a good fit for us, but we're trying to better understand who they are as a person and what skills they have, what abilities, what things they could contribute in the workplace, and how will they deal with the work that is at hand. Right? So that's what we're doing. It's kind of a betting game, right? So recruitment and selection, hiring people, training them, making sure that they stay in the organization, making sure that they're good colleagues, people that we want to work with, that is very expensive. So that's why it is a bit of a betting game, right? You're getting somebody random, in a sense, who just put in a resume because they're interested in the job, but they are an external applicant, so you don't really know them that well. So that's why we put them through all these processes to try to get a better idea of who they are, right? So we're building that profile. And all that is just to try to understand what is their likelihood of performing at a great level, right? So as Noah said, kind of what is their likelihood of succeeding in the workplace, right? So if I am hiring you for the psychiatrist position, I want to make sure that you are someone who is likely to excel in your job as a psychiatrist. Given my knowledge, because I'm internal to the company, I'm a manager in the company, given my knowledge of this job and what it takes to succeed in that job, okay, I'm trying to see if you have what it takes, essentially, right? And we do all of that to try to mitigate risk as much as possible, because I don't want to hire someone, have them come in for 2 months, and then we all figure out that that person was not the right person for that job, or the job was not the right fit for them, okay? Because that is costly. Right? Especially, let's say you're hiring internationally, you flew them in, you put them up in a hotel, you paid for their meals, and then, you have to do it all over again, right? So some jobs are even more costly when it comes to doing the recruitment and selection process. So that's why we do all these, or we put all these mechanisms in place to try to mitigate as much as possible. We talked last week about how we're always trying to generate knowledge and insights in organizations to better learn, to make sure that we're making well-informed decisions. This is one way that we do that. So over the years, especially big organizations, like think of Procter & Gamble, think of the big banks, they've been hiring a lot of people, and they've been doing a lot of personality assessments on them throughout time. And what they're doing is they're always comparing kind of like, who are the people in our organization that are doing great work? Because we want more people like them, right? So they're always generating those analytics. They're getting to know who the successful people in their organization are, who the superstars are, because they want more superstars. They don't want bad apples in the organization. They want people who are stellar. They want people who are likely to perform at that higher level, okay? So that's why organizations really pay attention to these things, and they're always in that business of understanding who works for them and what that ideal profile is. No, I haven't.
How do you maintain accuracy with those types of tests when people can lie about it? Because I know that if I was taking a personality test for
a job,
or whatever, and it said, "Are you organized?"
Of course you're going to say yes, right? Yeah. So that's the thing. Again, a reason why this has not kind of like died in the field of organizational behavior is because we're always making improvements to those tests. We're always trying to make sure that we reduce the fakeability of those tests. So mostly, if a big organization like Procter & Gamble, let's say, that they are an organization who would definitely go out and pay good money to get a good firm, good consultants, good researchers from organizational behavior to create the system for them, right? They're going to be implementing the most cutting-edge personality assessments. They're going to be making sure that they have all the things in place to reduce those potential kind of negative aspects of it, right? So ultimately, it's through kind of like the statistics of it. We make sure that our tests are valid assessments, tests that are actually robust. They were built in a good manner, right? Now, again, a lot of firms, the issue is they cheap out on their assessments that they use, and then they might kind of just take a personality assessment off the internet. Like they end up using the MBTI. Or, for example, one famous case that we saw in the US maybe 10 or more years ago now, at Kroger, the supermarket chain. So there was a high school student applying for a job, and they had him do what they thought was a personality assessment. But really what it ended up being is they assessed him for bipolar disorder. And that was illegally, so he ended up suing them. So that kid's dad was a lawyer. It turned out he was a lawyer. And that kid actually truly had bipolar. He was bipolar. So when he went back home and told his dad that he didn't get the job, and he told his dad, the test that they made me do was very similar to the test that I did at the hospital. So that's when they kind of clued in as to like, something is not right here. Because like, come on, like, it's a cashier job. Like, how could you really kind of really mess up the interview that much? So the more they delved into the issue, it turned out that, yeah, they just kind of took, not a personality assessment, they took an assessment of a mental, of a condition, and it's none of their business to be assessing that, right? So that was legally, that was a legal case now. So we have to be very cautious when it comes to deciding what assessments we use. We have to make sure that we're using valid assessments that are essentially, it's our business to be using them, right? So that's kind of something we have to be very cautious about.
So, what I want to ask you this, like, personality test is just the first part. And after that...
Job of the selection process?
Okay. Like, talking about after that, for class of companies, including personality development, because, like, imagine art or something that is working a lot. They can develop your personality to their need.
So I think what you're referring to is more so like things like character. They're building your resilience. So we're going to be talking about the definition of personality, but essentially personality is something. It's a set of relatively stable traits that remain at fairly stable over time. And there's the concept of trait personality versus state personality. What we're talking about is state personality, where it's kind of the aspect of that change over time. It doesn't hold as much truth in research. We haven't found that much significance to it. But there's definitely, what you're talking about is probably more so aligned with abilities, resilience. It's kind of things that refer to your character as a person, especially when you're talking about the military. Yeah, that is true. The military is known for like crushing people and then building them up according to what they want them to look like.
Well, I'm saying, like, the things that happen if we allow that these kinds of tests, like, companies run these tests before hiring people, it might be after time they find out the perfect formula. And
The applicants?
yeah,
Okay.
they make a perfect formula for an applicant. And because of legal reasons, they cannot like just hire one formula. They start getting other people and make them do what they need.
Okay. I mean, so that goes again with the whole thing. We're always trying to make improvements, but we're always kind of revamping our personality assessments, and for certain jobs, we're always kind of doing modifications to make sure that we're getting the optimal outcomes. Okay? So there's definitely some. And one thing that I will say is, those are all kind of bits and pieces of information that we're trying to get a better idea of who the person is, right? And that's why we don't only run them through a personality assessment. We also do an interview. We also maybe give them a sample of work to complete, because we're trying to get the most comprehensive idea possible, right? We don't only make a decision on the basis of one thing, like a personality assessment. We try to get as comprehensive of a picture as possible. Okay? John?
Just to add on to what you said about like the accuracy of the personality test. So a lot of interviews, how they happen is they make you do the personality test and then they ask questions based on that. So for example, if you say, if they ask you are you organized, then in the interview they might ask you demonstrate how you've been organized or what you've achieved and how you. So it's like you're saying, it's a confidential.
So that's another thing that could complement. So when we ask you behavioral questions, that could be something to complement that. And that, like, we're truly assessing, like, do you show the behaviors that are rooted in that personality trait, right? Okay, any thoughts, questions from this side of the class? Okay, cool. Let's keep going. Is the lighting okay? People in the back? Yes, we're good. Okay. So, as we kind of started the lecture with, what we're in the business of, or what we're trying to truly understand in organizations when it comes to our human capital, is who